An inmate at the Cumberland County Jail who was tested for COVID-19 last week does not have the virus. Sheriff Kevin Joy says the test results came back this afternoon. That means right now there are no confirmed cases of the virus in any of Maine's jails or prisons. That's good news because as the disease continues to spread throughout Maine, there is growing concern about what will happen if an inmate does test positive for COVID-19. News Center Maine's Shanna Moss joins us live now with more on what is being done to limit the exposure.
Well, Lindsay, if any one of Maine's jails or prisons becomes a breeding ground for COVID-19, that's going to have a huge impact on not only the inmates, but also staff, their families, and the entire community. It's why law enforcement, courts, defense attorneys, sheriffs, and the Department of Corrections are working hard to reduce the number of people who are behind bars. Now, one of the steps they're taking is to re-examine the bail of people who are in custody, and then making that determination who is and who isn't a risk to public safety.
Confined spaces and close quarters at jails and prisons make inmates, many of them with medical conditions, vulnerable to COVID-19.
It's the last thing that we want to see happen.
In hopes of preventing an outbreak, efforts are being made to reduce the inmate population. Cumberland County District Attorney Jonathan Sarbeck says Maine's judicial system has basically shut down, except for in-custody arraignments and motions to amend bail.
We had to take drastic steps in order to protect people's due process rights. But also while recognizing public safety.
Sarbeck says so far there have been about 60 people who are out of jail after having their bail amended.
In some cases, we are agreeing to home confinement as opposed to someone being held in jail. At other times, we're agreeing to lower a cash amount.
Peter Sear is a defense attorney in Maine fighting to get his clients out of jail.
We're looking to try to get our people out on bail. And especially when we're talking about pre-conviction bail, and especially when we're talking about individuals who aren't charged with violent crimes.
Sear in court today asked a judge to amend the bail of his client, John Aboda. Aboda is charged with 2 counts of terrorizing, 1 count of domestic violence terrorizing, and 3 counts of violating conditions of release.
We will be objecting to that motion to amend bail and making the arguments in court.
But on Wednesday, a judge agreed to release Aboda and place him under house arrest.
Those charges are misdemeanor charges. There's no felonies. He's sitting in jail on misdemeanor charges, waiting for an uncertain period of time before he's going to be able to get a jury trial.
While the judge did deny reduced bail releases for 2 other people facing felony charges and another for drug possession, she did grant it for James Osborne, who's facing robbery and aggravated assault charges. He'll also be released under house arrest. Sarbeck says people inside the jail need to be protected, but so do people on the outside.
We don't have concern with people coming forward and trying to exercise their constitutional rights. But at the same time, we do have concerns if bail is adjusted in a way that's not going to protect public safety.
Now, I spoke with the Cumberland County Sheriff Kevin Joyce, and he says, they're just trying to play offense. They have set up some rules. They've limited family visits for the inmates as well as professional contacts. They've set up video arraignments for court. And for the first time in his career, he has released about 10 people from the Community Correction Center. Mostly those are people who do work release. So right now, as of last week, there are about 400 inmates at the Cumberland County Jail. And now with all that is being done, that number is about 311 at this point. Lindsay and Pat, I'll send it back to you.